Chapter 29, Veracruz, City of the True Cross. Should you but conceal your face, I would be confounded. To knock. The day after the Kenworth Airstream Appalachian Rocky Continuum entered into the reserved forces of fate, Bill told me I needed to go to Veracruz with him. Stevie and the bass player would come too. This was different than our forays in the Mother Mountains. Now it was as if we were secretly bonded in this dream, like we had this private island, an agreement, articles of faith, that we would work our way up in the drug trade, buy the Kenworth, and convert it into a motorhome, that he could drive with his Class 2 license, since I had no driver's license at all, make ourselves millions of dollars, traveling the flatlands between Appalachia and the Rockies, sowing seeds of doubt in the cow-eyed populace. We'd evangelize them, show them what everything means, with the magic of our magic beans. I was bound to our secret fantasy, it seemed. We'd be the Johnny Appleseeds of LSD, planning it out in secret moments, as if it were all real. I spent the whole third-class bus ride staring at a woman's iguana, its hands and feet tied together with rough sisal, so the lady in shoes cast in plastic to look like leather could carry him off the bus like a lunchbox, tongue out, panting out the last few reptilian breaths, out to the end of the line. In the bus station, Bill met this guy who had some pot to sell. He went to pick it up, and we met up with him down at the port. Out on the old breakwater made of oil-soiled cut stone, we got very high, testing it out. I looked at them all, silhouetted by the trembling white cups of light in the shimmering small waves of the port that glittered around the boats, afloat in transparent aqua-colored water. I thought I could smell the wind from Martinique. It was as if it was the first time Stevie had been on his own, not just in Mexico, but anywhere on Earth. He had a look I recalled from the Buffalo Zoo, of a large, wide-eyed African rodent whose glass case was placed to obstruct the firing range of his only companion, a huge bull African elephant, who each time he heard the door, he'd ready a big trunk full of dung and try to toss it at you as you came around the rodent's case. At least part of it would hit the glass with a resounding thunk, leaving the poor rodent in a trembling state that never seemed to go away. Such was Stevie's state when he was unnerved, which was most of the time, always looking like some big ball of shit was going to be hurled at him by mistake, on purpose. Why he was always so anxious to get high is a mystery. It always wound him up worse. But it didn't stop him from looking for the edge of the cliff. Stevie was instantly stoned, and getting stoneder. He started passing his hand down across his mouth, over and over, saying something about sewage in the water and the seller's dubiousness, who looked skeptically back at Stevie. All these paranoid trivialities played out as the bass player was scat talking and playing the bongos on his knee. I just sat there, thinking of the iguana's quickly passing life versus Stevie's worried, overstuffed, short-changed existence, seen through Coke bottle glasses. Life seemed to be dragging on and on for him, even in the fresh breeze. Bill had Stevie pay the guy, but Bill took the bag. We stood and turned uncertainly to amble back in a daze to the now very strange-looking town. We walked the ancient port at an uneven stroll. To everyone's astonishment, in a 17th century colonnade with massive pillars, in a small, crowded store window set in the thick walls, we saw the record, Blind Faith. And hanging from the ceiling by its handle was a portable record player. The The storekeeper got it down with a metal hook on a long stick. Bill came out of the store, cradling the record like Moses with the 10 Commandments. The bass player following with a grin and the plastic record player, and a bunch of batteries in a bag. Showing us around town, like the marijuana representative from the Chamber of Commerce, the seller took us to a street blocked off from traffic by circular bench planters with speakers in them, playing a kind of acid rock. The bass player and I ran from bench to bench, sticking our heads in the planters to get the full stereophonic effect, while Bill examined the sedate Spanish version of the record cover. He seemed pleased it was just a picture of a bunch of guys, minus the nubile naked girl of about 12, holding a phallic hood ornament like in the American version. Bill ran his hand over the picture of the worn and tattered-looking blindly faithful band, wrapped double in dusty cellophane. A surly guy with muscular legs and tight pants came up to me, but I couldn't even look on his harshness, exuding straight razor-shaved screams of torment in a gas of noxious cologne. Whatever the machine was that Fayaway and I had running, this guy's machine was the polar opposite. I didn't respond to him when he spoke to me. I just looked at Bill. So he went to Bill and asked if he had been smoking marijuana. The seller was standing behind the surly guy, waving his arms, mouthing the word in exaggeration, "Policia, policia." But Bill, still cradling his blind faith commandment, looked at the seller waving his arms, looked at the surly guy, purposely ignored my petrified face, smiled, and exposed himself in his best Spanish. Yes, I was, and it was very good. Stevie locked up, immovable. The bass player and I weren't much better. The seller slapped his head, called the Madonna a whore, took the guy aside and grabbed a handful of marijuana from the bag in his crotch and some money and stuffed it in the surly guy's tight pocket and sent him on his way. The seller looked at Bill in disgust, shaking his head, as if Bill had been the only one among us he'd reserved any hope for. The only one who might have some basic functioning survival skills. He walked off, clicking his tongue. Why didn't I understand that scene then, consciously, rationally? It was all there in Bill's smirk when he responded, with his blind faith commandment cradled in his arms. He was happy, chuckling to himself with a smile, as if he were saying, "This is all you got." Why at that time did what was obvious not appear to me? It's a strange kind of collusion between destiny and the eyes. It was Hester Panem, a hiding of face, a divine contraction, to allow for the hard lessons of free will. Everything in the universe is there to be seen. What comes and goes is the ability to see it. This is what I was there to learn, but I didn't know that then. I saw, but I didn't comprehend. It was a turning point in what I thought was a straight line, a decision made without deciding, to go down a long, hard road, a maze. The only way out was in the night sky.